Hello again, Struck12. Today I'm bringing you another information video about Diablo Immortal, and this one would be focused on character progression, skills, paragons, and all of that. So first of all, keep in mind the technical alpha is a small-scale early test of Diablo Immortal that will primarily include players from Australia. So some of us, like me, won't have access, so all the footage you're seeing is just taken from Blizzard's press kit. So any screenshots, any video footage you see, it's not from the current version of the game. It might be from a earlier version. So if you are inside of the test, most likely something would be slightly different. I can't tell you for sure that it would be 100% the same. It's also alpha, so things are subject to change a lot before the game is finished. So whether you cleave monsters in half and decorate the ground with their entrails, use arcane energy to turn cultists into red mist, or put a crossbow bolt clean through of a demon's many eyes from halfway across the map, becoming more powerful and inflicting mayhem on the legions of the burning hells is the calling card of the Diablo games. Diablo Immortal is no exception to this time-honored tradition. We'll go over how the classes and skill systems in Diablo Immortal empower characters to grow strong, create highly efficient character builds, and separate spines from rib cages in style. The developers are telling us to meet the heroes, and they're saying that there's 4 heroes in the alpha from a total of 6 planned heroes, which means 1 out of the 7 heroes from Diablo 3 for now has not been announced to come into Diablo Immortal, and that is the Witch Doctor, which remains to be seen whether it would come with the DLC or not. But for the technical alpha, only 4 out of those. So the Crusader and the Necromancer would come at a later phase, probably during beta. So you would have access to the wizard that wields the dread destructive power of magic to annihilate its foes, or her or his foes. Then the barbarian, charge into battle and crush skulls with brute force and reckless abandon. Then there's the monk, who takes down his enemies or her enemies with martial arts and ancient mysticism. And then there's the Demon Hunter, obliterate all who stand in the way of your acrobatic dance of death. If you've played Diablo games before, these classes may seem familiar, mostly from Diablo 3, but Diablo Immortal tries to give you a fresh take on a familiar class, identities. Keep in mind the story happens between Diablo 2, World of Destruction, and Diablo 3, so it's like Diablo 2.5 kind of in regards to story. Each class has access to 2 unique primary attacks and a set of skills, some of which will be familiar to Diablo veterans and some of which break new ground. Additionally, each time you use your primary attack, you charge up that attack's ultimate, which is something new, the whole ultimate mechanic. And that ultimate grants it a brief but powerful boost. So using a certain primary attack, certain skill, makes it charge up, and once it's primed for ultimate, it gets a buff for a short duration, short time, or for a few attacks. I'm not sure exactly how it is, whether it's time-based or whether it's cast X times based, etc. Maybe it's different for different skills. Let's cover the grow in strength aspect first. As you gain levels, you unlock new skills, which is standard. Your skill power increases as your character levels up, and to create your own skill build, you have 1 primary attack slot and 4 skill slots. And you can freely assign skills to these slots and reassign them on the fly. For example, the developers have provided two examples of builds. For the wizard, they have given us example where you could choose the electrocute basic attack and pair it with the meteor, black hole, teleport, and ice crystal skills. With this setup, you can hold enemies in place with the black hole, drop a meteor on them, sizzle them with electrocute while they're stuck together, and then drop an ice crystal to slow advancing monsters and use teleport for a quick getaway. Then there's an example built for the Demon Hunter, which is combine the crossbow shot basic attack with the smoke screen, strafe, knife trap and daring swing skills for a hit and run build. You use smoke screen to sneak into a group of enemies, then lay into them with strafe, and then escape with a daring swing and drop a knife trap to catch any monsters that chase after you. You can try out different skill builds and when I start playing the game I would probably do the same myself, trying to figure out as many fun and interesting builds and ways to play a hero, meta, non-meta, and from the weirdest to the more standard ones. Keep in mind that I would be making another video and it should be coming in the same day as this one about itemization, gearing up and upgrades and all of that more in detail. So you might want to also check that one if you care about the diversity of the items and how those would play into creating builds. Now let's talk about something that many of you have been wondering, whether the Paragon system from Diablo 3 is returning, and if yes, how familiar it will be to the one from Diablo 3 and how different it will be. So Paragon Levels, which is XP driven increase in your character's power after hitting the level cap, will return from Diablo 3 with a twist. In Diablo Immortal there are 10 Paragon talent trees. Each tree would offer unique bonuses that are in the form of stat boosts and distinct perks. The 4 trees currently in the alpha would be Survivor, Treasure Hunter, Vanquisher and Gladiator, with more to come eventually in the beta and after the game releases. So you have Survivor, which is talents in the tree greatly enhancing your survivability when fighting monsters, obviously as to be expected from the name. Treasure Hunter, as you might have guessed this tree enhances your XP gains and increases your chances of finding treasure, gold and gems. Vanquisher is for those who are looking for talents that make you more lethal and when fighting monsters. So if you want PvE damage, that's it, and if you want PvP damage, that's the Gladiator. Talents in this tree greatly enhance your effectiveness when fighting other players. So for now you have the survivability, the magic find, the PvE and the PvP Paragon trees. They plan to make additional Paragon trees available over time, as I've said. So you earn Paragon points simply by gaining XP once you hit the level cap, like in Diablo 3. You can spend these points across all the Paragon trees you have unlocked, so you could, for instance, spend 1 point in the Survivor tree, then next point you can be on the Vanquisher tree or in the Treasure Hunter and so on. However, while the diversification is useful and even something they want to encourage, there is a catch. Only one tree can be set to active at any time. What does this mean? It means that you get the passive bonuses of each tree at all times, but there are certain new things which are specialization skills that you only get from the currently activated tree. So before you go into PvP or before you go into PvE, you decide which tree you want to use. Obviously, most people probably before going into PvP would activate the Gladiator tree, and then before going into PvE they might activate one of the other ones, depending whether they're going for magic find or whether for survivability. So yeah, that means that each Paragon tree offers permanent attributes and specialization skills. Permanent attributes are stat boosts you get continually from points spent. Specialization skills only benefit you when you choose to activate their Paragon tree. If you change which Paragon tree is active, you get access to different group of specialization skills, but the permanent attributes always remain. So, for example, you see Zeal. For each monster you defeat, your attack speed increases by 0.6 for 6 seconds, stacking up to 10 times. It's one level max for this. Maybe there's gonna be some things that give you levels to it, but I doubt it. Then the specialization skill says, once learned, activating the Vanquisher specialization will apply this skill's bonus. That means this Zeal skill, Paragon specialization skill can only be used when you activate Vanquisher. So that's one example. There's many other examples with many more skills to explore. As we have seen in screenshots, there are multiple of those square skills, which I'm assuming are all specialization skills. So from what I can tell from this screenshot, the Vanquisher has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 specialization skills and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 passive. So the passive seem to be the ones that are round and the square ones are the specialization skills. So the passive ones obviously are increases to things like damage, crit chance, etc., defense, your typical passive stats. The other ones you will need to activate the Paragon tree to benefit from those. To get notified when I upload more content for this game or other games like this one, which would be wooters of all varieties, isometric, third-person ARPGs, wooter shooters and all sorts of wooters like that, you could subscribe to my channel and hit that bell button to not miss out on my content updates. And optionally, you can even join as a member of the Struck Club on YouTube as a channel member to get access to exclusive perks such as special emotes custom made by me, special badges custom made by me that represents how many months you have been a member for, as well as opt-in of editing tutorials that I can give for Photoshop, Adobe Premiere, as well as shoutouts and things like that. And I would like to use this part of the video to thank all my YouTube members and Twitch subscribers. Thank you for supporting the channel and keeping me going. Thank you also for watching this video, everyone. Keep it cool, Struck Club. Until next time, and goodbye.